All right, so you should have this document. All right, it's just a follow-up. So we did the egg drop in class, and the egg has momentum as it falls, right? And then in order to reduce that momentum, we have to apply a force. All right, and that's what we were doing there. Now, what we wanted to do in these equations just showing us that force and time are inversely related. So if we can spread the force out over a greater time, then the impact force isn't applied all at the same time. So we can reduce that force. Okay, so hopefully you were successful and you attenuated the impact of the egg. All right, so just some definitions here. So impact force. So impact, think about when you put your hands together, that's an impact, right? We've got two objects, one hand and the other. They're moving. When they collide, they have to quickly decelerate. And so in order to decelerate something or change its velocity, they're a force. So it's a push or a pull. We know force is a push or a pull. So that's one thing that occurs when two objects collide. So the word impact involves some kind of collision. All right, impact time. Well, impact time is the time over which the impact over which the impact force is applied. Okay, so this happens during the collision. So you could imagine if you just dropped an egg and it hit the ground, that would be a pretty short impact time, right? The collision happens relatively quickly. Now, if you can spread it out by using an attenuator, paper, right, tape, then that collision happens over a greater time. So an impact attenuator increases the time. It's just a device. We made them out of paper that increases the time over which I'm just going to put the time of the collision. All right. They're designed to, you designed one in the project, designed to increase the impact time. All right, impact attenuators, impact force, and impact time. Okay, airbags. So you have probably been in a car before, and you know that in a car, there are airbags. Usually, there's always one in the passenger side, in the front seat, right on the dashboard, right in front of the passenger. There's an airbag in that dashboard. Oftentimes, there's one in the steering wheel where the driver sits. And then most cars now have side airbags. So airbags inflate, as you know, if the car suddenly collides with something. So impact attenuators, the airbags are impact attenuators. So airbags, I'm just going to use my words. You can use your own words. Airbags increase the time of a collision. So if you get in an accident, we're worried the most dangerous thing that can happen is the driver or the passenger collide with what's inside the vehicle. And so the airbag, instead of hitting something hard like the dashboard, the airbag spreads that force out over a greater time. So by increasing impact time, airbags decrease the impact force. All right. Besides airbags, 4 other devices. Okay, so if you can think about other ones, so not seatbelts. You probably know that cars have a crumple zone in front. So head-on collisions of cars, the car itself is designed to, if there is an accident, to crumple in front. That's one thing. You might notice there's padding, right? Padding in the dashboard. That's the front of the car. There's padding in the steering wheel usually. Oh, another thing on the roadways. There are guardrails. So if you look at the freeways and things like that, that are impact attenuators. And that's actually what they call them. So the guardrails, you can see they usually have that aluminum there. And so if you strike those are designed to, if there's a head-on collision, then it reduces the impact force. Other things you can find. Oh, let's think. You can think of maybe other ones that I don't think of here. The bumper. Each car in the front and back has a bumper. Most bumpers have their impact attenuators as well. Not related to transportation. Okay, so I thought about sports helmets. So in your helmet, and you could think about helmets and right, we use them for biking, right? Sports, almost all of them have some kind of a lot of helmets. Football, those are carefully designed with impact attenuation in mind. Other places. Well, let's see. I'm thinking about football pads, shoulder pads, right? One example. Those are designed as well for that. Oh, if you play soccer, soccer players wear shin guards. And those shin guards try to cushion the impact attenuator. In your shoes, the soles of your shoes. You can imagine if you walked around barefoot, you'd feel more impact, right? The greater impact force, your shoes, every time you step, they attenuate it. All right, now here you want to describe your initial design and then sketch. Now when you sketch, just put the cursor here and then go up to insert drawing. All right, and then in these questions, you can choose which design. You may have designed the same one both times, and you may have designed the other ones. All right, so these ones you'll have to do on your own. Just describe and then video drawing, and then 3 is on your own. Force. Well, hopefully you know the force of gravity. So the egg had weight, right? So we know the force of gravity is what added momentum to the egg. Okay, so fluid friction is a force, small amount. The other force was what we call the impact force. Impact force when it strikes the attenuator of the ground. Okay, so this one, a car crashing head on. Think about a car and experience. Well, that's a bad accident, right? A very large impact force over a relatively short. Large impact force or relatively small impact time. This would result in relatively heavy damage, right? We don't want damage to the car and occupants. All right, so if there's an impact attenuator on the roadway, would experience a relatively low impact force over a relatively long impact time. This would result in relatively light damage. Think about light or lower damage to the car and occupants. All right, so go ahead and finish this up and this document and turn this in when you're done.